So, what is your purpose in life, and why are we here? I have been asking myself the same question over and over since I was born, since I remember anything. And just recently, I started doing something really incredible. I started doing photography, and that's how I discovered my purpose in life. This is me when I was like 5 years old with a little camera. I didn't know how to operate it. I was just posing with a little camera that my mother gave it to me. And I was just having fun with it, And after that, I never picked up any artistic side in any form, drawing, painting, nothing. Because in school, my teacher always told me that I was horrible at art. I couldn't do anything that he told me to do. I couldn't follow any simple instruction to draw a circle, to paint in, very simple color. I couldn't do it. So I never really used my ability to do anything in the artistic world. This is me with my life partner, who I spent the last 8 years with, and we traveled the world in a small plane. And sadly, I had a really bad fear of flying. Every time I flew, I had to pray to God, like, we have to make it to the next destination. But I picked up photography as the tool to escape from my fear. And I captured the most incredible photos from all over the world from the plane. I could see the changes in the environment, in the people, in the culture. And these are the important things that are slowly disappearing from the surface of the planet Earth. So I captured these pictures from the air, and then later on I became a fashion photographer, but that wasn't enough for me. To take beautiful photos of beautiful clothes, crazy clothes like this, makeup, shoes, it's not enough for me. And then I talked to my partner, and I thought, we could use our ability to do something, to make a change, to make the difference to this world. So we start a lot of projects, mainly with animals, because I couldn't deal with human beings. And we start transporting animals from one place to another, releasing the gibbons back to the wild, from the cage into the forest of Chiang Mai. And we have been doing that for a few years now, and it's quite successful. So Chiang Mai has gibbons in the wild now, again. And these are the dugongs, the manatees. A lot of people didn't know that they exist in Thailand. We have a lot of these animals in the Sea of Trang, called Talibong, and we just did the flight survey last month, and the number is still rising, and that's good. These are the big herds of dugong as well in Trang. Incredible animal. And this is the Buddha whales. A lot of people don't know that the whale existed in Thailand, in the upper Gulf of Thailand, and we have about 50 of them. This is the beginning of everything. So like I said, I had really bad fear of flying. This is me like 4 years ago. I had to pray every time we have to fly. It was horrible. And this is me last year. A big change. So back to the whale story. Because I saw this news on the internet, there's a big dead whale floating in the Sea of Thailand. And then I thought, I really want to take a photo of this dead animal, but not just like this, because it's too simple. And everyone who came across this news will see like, oh, it's a sad story. It's just another dead whale. So I talked to my partner, and I told him that I want to place a fashion model next to the dead whale in the sea. And he thought I was crazy. Crazy people make differences, so I was happy being crazy. And why did I want to do that? Because the traditional campaign like this is not working well. I've been working with animals, with campaigning for the last 8 years, and the numbers are dropping. And then I decided to take another approach. So I traveled to Samut Sakhon, sorry, to this location where the dead whale was beached into the mangrove. And then we start photographing with a fashion model, working well with the marine biologist. And this was me 2 years ago. This picture put me on the front page of the Thai newspaper, and they once again called me the crazy photographer. I was happy being crazy. I was just watching the news and see what people had to say to get the feedback. It went to CNN. It was translated in 17 languages around the world. And it was a successful technique for me to raise awareness for Thai people, to understand, to realize that there are actually whales in Thailand. A lot of people don't even know that they existed. And The Last Farewell, that was the title of this story, photo story. It was my way of saying goodbye to this animal that I really care so much about. Up until last year, October, Buddha whale was announced as 16 protected animal of Thailand. And that was the beginning of the next project that I thought, if I combine fashion with anything that I believe in and translate it into a piece of work, I can translate and deliver any message that I want to, especially for the new generation, the young generation, the future of our mankind. Why fashion photography? I think because fashion is in every single one of us who is sitting down here in this hall, sitting at home watching this show right now. It doesn't matter if you dress up well, dress up down, dress up crazy like this. Everyone is connected in a way that we don't actually realize. It doesn't matter what color skin you are, what language you speak, what culture you have. I think it's very important you have your own style, okay? I will take you back to some of the work that I started doing. I combined fashion photography with campaigning documentary. First one was Shut Down. I combined political with fashion messages. This was Shut Down. Remember the Bangkok shutdown a few years ago. The End of the Road is about environmental impact. This is road collapsing around Thailand last year. Road Runner is about the road safety, especially in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And latest project, I work with the Martyr in prisons. We created 3 pieces of work to raise awareness about the well-being of Martyr and the baby in prisons. It's not something you see every day, but it captures your attention. So all this work is called social commentary fashion photography. And I know that it works well. I can translate, I can deliver anything that I want to the new audience, to the young generation. It's the call to action. And this is the beginning of the Anatomy 101. The Anatomy 101 is a piece of work that I created from my own experiences. A lot of people ask me, where do I get my experience, or where do I get my inspiration? It comes from my own experience, something I care about, something I feel deeply about. I lost a kidney 2 years ago. It was fine. I was happy I lost a kidney. I had 3. Most of people have 2. Okay, I was born with a condition, and then one of them was failing, and then I was sick throughout the year. And then the doctor at Chulalongkorn Hospital, they recommended I should remove one. So I spent the time in the hospital, and then I saw this old lady who was waiting for the organ transplant. And she was waiting for years. And I just thought, I was sick for 1 year. My life was almost over. But for someone who was waiting for the organ transplant for 4 years, it's like you're breathing, but you're not living. It's horrible. And you're waiting for someone to give you a chance to live again. So I just thought, a lot of people die every year. Hundreds of thousands of people die, 500,000 to be exact. Where do these organs go to? It goes to cremation. It pollutes the air. No one gets those organs. It sucks. So I teamed up with my best friend, Surachai Sangsuwan, to create this piece of work, Anatomy 101. Why Anatomy 101? Remember when we were young, we studied the classes in high school, Mathematics 101, boring, I know, Biology 101, Art 101, whatever 101. And this is the class to teach you about organ donation, different part of your organ. It's a basic class, okay? So we studied the art history. We studied the medical science from, way back from 200 years ago. Buddhism, movies, sculptures, paintings. And then we spent about 6 months doing the research, 2 months of photography, and 1 month of post-processing. And then we created this. This is the picture about blood donation, organ donation, hair donation. You know you can donate your hair to make the wig for cancer patient. Breast transplant, skin donation. You can donate your skin. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this photo. This photo is called The Anatomy of Maulana Nusratti. It's a combination of the best of two worlds, the West and the East. The West in the past, to study that the anatomy is almost forbidden. You know, they study for entertainment in the old days. People have to dress up. But for Buddhism, we study the dead body to understand the circle of life, that the body is not ours. You know, the mind is here. So in order to make people understand the importance of organ donation, I have to take this approach, okay? And this is the combination of the best of two worlds, the Buddhism and the medical science. This is one of my favorite photos from the series. It's a Red Riding Hood. In Chulalongkorn Hospital, they have a ward where you can actually go and spend time with kids with chronic disease. That means kids who can't leave the hospital or they have to be connected to the machines. It sucks. You know, I spent about 9 days in the hospital waiting for someone to come and keep me company. And it must be horrible for these kids. They can't live a simple life. They can't live a normal life. They can't just go run around in their hometown. So I imagine, you know, if I was that kid, I would like to have someone to be there to read books for me, to bring toys for me. So I created the story about the fairy godmother to come and read the book for the little kid, the Red Riding Hood. But in return, she started making a little dress as a gift back to the fairy godmother. So this is the simplest thing you can do to donate your time. Like every artist's big dreams, we want to have big exhibition in the National Gallery, in the big museums, in the shopping malls. But it was not my intention to become famous. The Anatomy 101 was a project about the people who are in need, to make a voice to people who actually can give. And it was important that I bring the whole project back to where it all started, Chulalongkorn Hospital. It was quite a challenge because in order to persuade the board of directors to have the fashion photography taken inside the hospital was the first step. But to have the fashion exhibition exhibited in the building where the patients are waiting for their queue is almost impossible. But I was lucky that they believe in me. They believe in my cause. So we split the building of Jakraphong building in two halves. The first half is still operating as the reception area for the patients. The second half is the exhibition. So people who come through the exhibition can actually see the two worlds, the sickness and the beauty of fashion photography. And they actually can enjoy the exhibition. But the sick patient, they're part of my exhibition as well. They are the live installation that rotate every minute. They come from different backgrounds with different need, different costume, different type of people. And I want people to feel, to understand what I was going through. And at the end of the exhibition, I placed a little table from the Red Cross where they can actually donate their organs, their eyes, and their body. So after the 8 days of the exhibition, we raised 500 donors. And you know what? One donor can save up to 50 lives. Imagine in a few years, if people start doing the same thing, the problem of organ donation, of people waiting for their organ transplant will be over. If this is just the basic thing that people should do. So back to where it all started of this talk, I asked you, what is your purpose of life? Why are we here? It doesn't matter to me anymore. I discovered myself as a photographer, as someone who can actually use my talent to make a change, to make a difference, to make good for someone or something. And that's enough for me. You can do the same thing as well. I believe that everyone of you have something good in you that you can use to make a change, to make something big, something different, something good for the others, and the reward is so fulfilling for you. So you can start easiest thing by donating your organ, part of your body that you don't need anymore once you're gone, It's just like this. Your kidney, give it to them. Your liver, stop drinking and start donating. Your lung, and actually one of the most important things is your heart. You have to have a heart, because once you are done in this lifetime, once you take off your skin, the only thing you can take up to heaven is your good soul. And this is how I change the world one image at a time. Thank you.